So there are only two ways to get paid for doing absolutely nothing. And I mean absolutely nothing. Even a homeless man has to go make a sign and sit out on the side of the road asking complete strangers for money. And what I'm about to show you is infinitely easier than that. So the first way is to buy a dividend paying stock or index fund. To do this, you don't need to talk to anybody. You don't have to have any skill sets. All you need to do is download an app like Robinhood. I'll have a link down in the description down below. You download an app like that, you buy into a share of a stock. So say you buy $10 worth of Apple. Now, if you own even $10 worth of Apple, you're considered an owner of Apple, and you receive all of the rights that come with that. One of those is getting paid dividends. So dividends is a fancy word, but essentially it's the extra money. It's this excess money that the company decides to not reinvest into the company. They don't need it to pay the employees. They don't need it for R&D. They don't need it for marketing, sales. They don't need it for anything else. And it's actually a little bit of a flex to let other people know that, hey, our business is doing so well and we want to attract more investors, so we are willing to pay out a portion of our extra earnings to the shareholders, and they get that money. So if you are getting dividend payouts, all you have to do is buy a stock or index fund that pays dividends, and a lot of them do. A number of index funds do. You just got to go look them up. You can literally just Google index funds that pay dividends or highest paying dividend stocks, and you can go and buy those. Again, you don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to do anything. It can cost you as little as $10, and you can start getting paid money for doing nothing. So you might be saying, well, if I only put $10 into Apple, how much money will I even be getting? Will it even be enough to make sense, or will the dividends even be worth it? And my first point is, for doing absolutely nothing, someone giving you money, I think that's worth it. But if you want to know what it's going to take to make $1,000 a month owning a stock or owning index funds, I'm going to show you this little calculation that I put together. So this is a little spreadsheet that I put together that has two inputs and then a few outputs that I'm going to walk you through right now. So the first input is the cost of the stock. So for example, if we want to look at Apple stock, right now it's trading at 139.86. So you can come over here and put in 139.86. That's the first input. The next is the dividend yield per year. Essentially, what does Apple pay shareholders per year? And this is public information. It's actually very easy to find. On the same screen, you just say dividend yield is 0.66%. So we're going to come over here and we're going to add in 0.66%. And let's make sure that's a percentage. Oh, here we go. So 0.66%. Current payout per year. So what this is doing is it is taking these two numbers and saying this is how much you'll get paid out per year, but Apple doesn't pay out a yearly dividend, and they also don't pay out a monthly dividend. They pay out a quarterly dividend, and you can look that up as well. So the quarterly payout per share, so for every one share that you own, you can get 23 cents. So that may not sound like a lot, but again, remember, you're doing nothing. You're basically employing all of the people over in Silicon Valley that work for Apple and everywhere. You're employing them, they're working for you, and because you don't own that much, you may only get 23 cents, but at least you're getting basically a quarter for nothing every single quarter. So if you want to say, well, I want to make $1,000 a month from Apple shares, what is that going to take? Basically, what that's going to take is having 13,000 shares at this current stock price. So the stock price of 139, which is incredibly low, and I would probably cop some Apple stock right now if you have a little extra money. So the number of shares that you are going to have to own to make $1,000 a month is 13,000. And what will that cost you? Well, that's going to cost you 13,000 shares times by the current price, which is 139, which is going to give you $1.8 million. So you're like, wow, I have to invest $1.8 million just to make $1,000 a month. Well, that is true with Apple. Apple's a stock that you're most likely going to benefit from the appreciation of the actual stock, because that stock, look at it really quick. It appreciates at a crazy rate. Over the past 5 years, it's up 256%. Over the past 10 years, it's up 139,759%. So while they are not paying out a crazy amount in dividends, you are benefiting a lot from appreciation. You just have to decide what's more valuable for you. So if we go look at a different stock that has a little bit higher dividend, we can go see if it's better for us. So Coca-Cola is trading currently at 55.10. So let's go over here and throw in 55.1. And the dividend yield per year, again, it's just right here. That's 3.20. So this is already significantly better. We're going from 0.66 to 3.20, which is way more exciting. So I'm going to come over here and throw in 3.20%. And so the current payout per year is $1.76, which means if this is paid out quarterly, you're going to be getting 44 cents per share every single quarter. So now we're getting significantly more money per share. And so the number of shares that you would need to own is no longer 13,000, it's 6,805 or 6. Basically 6,806 shares that you would need to own. And this would cost you $375,000. So this is beginning to get a lot more interesting, because if you were to invest $375,000 into real estate, how much money would you actually be able to cash flow? Honestly, you'd probably be able to cash flow more, but the interesting thing is here you have to do nothing, like literally nothing. All you have to do is put your money at Coca-Cola or invest it in Apple. It doesn't take any work. You never have to touch it again, and you will continue to get those dividend payouts. So another good one, or another interesting one that I should say that we can look at, is Ford. So the cost of Ford stock is pretty low. It's $11.68. So if you only have $10-15, you can buy a full share. If you have more than that, you are able to buy multiple shares. So at $11.66, you'll see that the dividend yield is 5.14. So the higher the dividend yield, the more you're able to get out of these companies. So they're going to give you 5.14%, which is more than the other two companies combined. So we're going to come in here and say $11.66 and 5.14. So 11.66 and 5.14. And so now we're going to be getting 60 cents per share per year. And the quarterly payout then is 15 cents per share. And we only have to own 20,000 shares to make $1,000 a month, giving us a total cost of $233,463.04. So for $233,000, you can make $1,000 a month doing absolutely nothing. All right, enough with the spreadsheet. Okay, so the second way that you can make money doing absolutely nothing is to keep your cash in a bank with a high interest rate. According to the Dave Ramsey philosophy, and I like this a lot as well, you should always have $2,000 of emergency money always ready and available. And then you should have 3 to 6 months, closer to 6 months is better, but 3 to 6 months of living expenses just saved away in cash. So that could be a lot of money. That could be anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000, or maybe even more depending on where you live. And to have all of that money just sitting under your mattress or sitting in a traditional bank account where it is liquid, but it's really not doing anything for you. It might be gaining a very small percentage in something like JP Morgan Chase, but there are better banks that you can store that money. I currently use Ally. There's a ton of them. I'm not recommending any specific bank. I haven't done my research on this in a while, but a few years ago, I found Ally. I really liked them, and I started storing my emergency fund money there, as well as my 3 to 6 month living expenses. And you just leave that money there and you forget about it. If you need it for anything, obviously it's there, it's liquid, you can do whatever you need to do with it. The more money you have in there and you kind of forget about that money, when you go and check in, it's actually kind of crazy because after not checking in on that account for honestly at least a year, maybe a little bit longer, I realized I was getting payouts of $20, $40, $50 a month, where I am literally doing nothing. I'm just being responsible, leaving a little money in the bank so I don't have to be paycheck to paycheck on everything. And if I got fired from my job, or if something crazy were to happen and I needed some extra money, it would be sitting there. And just leave my money in the savings account, which is what happens anyway? Like your money just sits in the savings account. And yes, it's not beating inflation. I understand that. But the fact that you want to have some money liquid, and even though inflation is high right now, overall, the fact that it is still making more money, that is incredible. And I don't have to do anything. I don't know how to say it other than I put my money there. I haven't touched it. It's for emergencies. It's for a crisis. Like if something really bad were to happen, I hope I never have to use it, but at least it's there. And in this scenario, not only is it there, it's making me cash 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks, 50 bucks a month. That's easier than anything else I can think of. And finally, if you're still watching this, there is a bonus way that I'm testing right now. There's here.co, lofty.ai. I believe there's a few of these other real estate companies that you can give like 100 bucks, 50 bucks to invest in a home, a short-term rental, long-term rentals, just different types of properties. And that's it. You don't have to do anything. And they will pay you out based on the performance of that home. So I'm not saying that's a guaranteed way because I haven't done it yet. So I don't know if it's going to take any work from me or if it's actually even going to pay out. But things that I have seen work in real life, in my real life, without having millions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, is investing in dividend stocks. Apple, Coca-Cola, Ford. There's a bunch of these stocks and index funds that pay dividends, and you don't have to do anything. And the other is keeping the extra money that you want to keep liquid anyway, keeping that money just in a high yield savings bank account. So again, I use Ally. I believe they have a 2.25% return on your money every single month. I'd have to look at that again because it sometimes changes, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up. But overall, it's sitting there, it's making me a little extra cash, and I am grateful for that. So as it makes more money, I can pull it out because all the money that I need in there, the only money that I need in there is the money for my $2,000 for an emergency and the other money that I need for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So that's the show for today, guys. I hope you found it helpful. I will keep you updated on here.co and lofty.ai to see how those end up going. But until then, go ahead, go get yourself invested in some dividend paying stocks to get that cash flow moving and get your savings in a high interest, I don't remember exactly how to say it, but a bank account that will pay you a lot better to store your money than the traditional big banks, or obviously way better than you putting it under your mattress and risk losing it or getting it stolen or something like that. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead, hit the like button. And if you haven't yet and you like the channel, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And remember that what you focus on grows. So focus on your goals, focus on the things that it's going to take to accomplish those goals and go out and make it happen. Thank you again, as always, for watching this video, and I'll catch you later. See ya.